What's up, guys? I hope everybody's having a great day. I've been kind of struggling today figuring out exactly what I wanted to talk about. I do have this one little thing I want to say and kind of open with. I don't know if it'll relate to the rest of the video, but I have this guy that I work with a lot, and he usually is a very quiet guy, and he probably thought the same thing about me because I never really spoke to him either, and we just kind of coexisted, never really talked to each other like that. And then all of a sudden we just sparked up a conversation today, and he's a very talkative individual, and so am I, and I'm very outgoing, and for the most part, he's never seen me as anybody but a more timid, reserved individual, which is basically the opposite of who I really am as a person. And it's just kind of crazy how, I don't really know if introvism, is that the correct terminology? I don't know if introverts truly exist, because, to a certain extent, because I feel like if you're able to talk to somebody about the topic that they are passionate about, almost anybody can get out of their shell and be comfortable with you. Like, there's a lot of people who I would think are introverts, and I talk to them about anime, and it just flips a switch in a lot of these people, and they're able to speak to me in a way that I feel like they never would have if I didn't give them a comfortable space and something to relate to them with. And those people that you would assume are introverts are just quiet people, and you think that they are maybe aren't super outgoing or the type of individual that wants to make conversation, but in reality, have you made the effort to get to know that person and know what they're passionate about and break the silence and create a conversation with somebody? Because for the most part, I don't think there truly are real introverts through and through. I think some people just have a hard time in public, a hard time with new people, which by definition might be a little bit of introvertism. I don't know if that's a word or if I just created it, but it is now. There might be people who are or do act that way out in public, but kind of going off track. I just don't know if you have to be honest with yourself, if you're making the time to try and get to know that person, or you're just putting a label on them and assuming that that's the type of person that they are because that's the only version that you've seen of them. So I'm going to open with that. I'm going to go ahead and go into my second set here. I've already done, I did flat, not barbell, just like flat machine press, and then this is my second set on incline, and then I might give a cue or two here, and then most likely going to go to some form of fly motion. I'm not exactly sure which one I'll do yet. Okay. My cues here, I haven't talked about my cues with lifting a lot lately. I've been more so focused on giving a message, but I kind of want to talk about this because I think it's something that I don't really hear talked about often. I think it's really important whenever you're trying to target your upper pecs. So whenever I do this movement in particular, I have a very shallow incline. It's only like 45 degrees, one click up. Should be one click up. It feels kind of higher, but should be around one click up. And then the cues are you want to keep your back as flat as you can against the bench rather than arching, because in most benching patterns you are going to be arching and doing a healthy arch, but if you do that here, it's going to make it to where the main target, the main focus is your middle and lower pec, and not as much focus on your upper pec. To get that activation, you want to have that flat chest to where the pattern that your humerus is going through is going to be an elevated pattern that is going to recruit your upper pec muscle fibers more so than your middle pec. And some of the other cues, I like to have a bit of a tucked elbow because your upper pec is also responsible for flexion, which is this motion right here. And then I don't really try to really focus on full extension. You saw me go there a couple times just because I also believe if I get to a full extension, I can rest for a couple seconds. It allows me to recruit some more strength and brace myself a little bit better. But for the most part, you don't have to completely lock out or else your triceps will take over the majority of that movement. That's basically everything for here. I don't know if I'm gonna go into much more detail on lifting with the next patterns. I may or may not. Somebody's calling me. Oh, it's my girlfriend. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna break it down much further. I'm probably gonna go into some more talking points. I don't know if I'll stay on that same topic or go into something differently. Hey baby, what's up? Okay, so I didn't record my last chest movement that I did just because it was really, really loud. They're like blaring music in the second gym today. So I decided to go ahead and not record in there and then come and jump back into it. Here, I am on my last set here. I didn't record the other ones because I was working with this other guy. His name's Joel, I believe his name, or Yoel. He's sounds like this Russian, some sort of foreign dude, jacked motherfucker that seems to take the gym very seriously. So I didn't want to, impose. And I asked if I could work in with him. I didn't want to work in and then me sit and talk to the camera between his sets. So I decided not to do that. But yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about today. but I really want to focus on Greg Plitt. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who that is. If you are not, I highly recommend you go watch some of his videos. I've seen a lot of clips of him where he's talking to the camera and he seems just like a total jock and kind of a arrogant dude just because of the certain clips that I've seen. And it just goes back to what I was saying is like, if you see only one small perspective of a person, you can't judge them by just one point of them. You have to actually dive into who they are as a person and see to know who they are truly. And the more I watch his channel, the more I've seen how he speaks and how he's actually a very smart person, definitely an intellectual, and a lot of the stuff he talks about, he has amazing analogies, he's super relatable, and he's just really inspired me to not only continue doing what I'm doing because he's like a vlogger as well, but just try to be more intense with it and be honest and, you know, don't be scared to say my true feelings and really put out there how I feel about something. So with right now, I'm not really sure what today's topic is. I'm gonna try to keep digging and find something that is really important to me, but so far, it's just don't judge a person by the cover, don't judge them by one moment, don't judge anybody by one outlook of their life. You don't truly know a person, and at everybody's core, I feel like everybody wants to be a good person innately, and you just have to take the time to get to know a person in order to be able to discern whether they are or are not a good person. So, actually, I was about to end the video, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my last working set here, and then we'll go there. Oosh. Okay. Okay, I just finished the workout and I decided to not record it because I thought that the message was a little bit more important than me actually going through the workout, and I decided what I really wanted to talk about, and the gist of it is, who do you think you are? You know what I mean? Like, who do you think you are to judge somebody off of one moment? And I understand that there are a lot of people out there who could say something to you in one moment that really upsets you or really hurts you. And you can be justified to have those feelings, but not justified to hold it against that person. And all it does is make yourself more angry. All it does is make you lash out in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise. And I believe that you truly never know a person ever, let alone in a span of 5 seconds of meeting a person. Like, you're out at the club, some guy bumps into you. I guarantee you, most of the time he's either drunk, didn't mean to do it, or is just a kind person who, hey, or is just a kind person who you caught at a bad time. And we all have these bad days where we do something that we wouldn't usually do. And I catch myself doing that all the time. Like the other day, I talked about in one of my YouTube videos how I was playing basketball and I started talking shit. And I always, talk a little bit of shit for fun, but I was doing it in a way that was a bit aggressive. Me and the dude were pushing each other, shoving each other, talking a lot of shit. And it was just, that's not who I am. And in that one brief moment of me and that guy, our one interaction, he probably thinks that I'm a dickhead and thinks I'm not the nicest dude in the world. And I'm not saying that I'm the nicest dude in the world, but thinks I'm not the nicest guy. And I think that it's just not only difficult, but impossible to judge somebody off of one moment. And even if you're around somebody for a very long period and they continuously show themselves as not the greatest person, it doesn't mean that you have to hang around with this person and consider them to be one of your closer friends, but you probably don't know the whole story. You don't know what they're going through spiritually, physically, mentally, at home, whatever. We don't know what these people are dealing with. And there are many times where I have judged people and it's never led to a good outcome. It's never led to me feeling better. It's never led to me thinking, thank God I judged that person. Thank God I started talking shit to that dude. Thank God that I did this or that. There's almost no way that judging somebody can ever lead to anything that's purposeful. And you can judge somebody by their fruit, meaning that you can see how they act and you can see how they carry themselves. And if that's a friend group or a person that you don't want to be around because it is drawing you into sin and drawing you into these moments into ways that you don't want to act and making you fall short of the person that you're truly wanting to become, then absolutely you should separate yourself from those people and not hang around them as often. But you shouldn't judge them. You should know that everybody has their own path. A lot of people act a certain way just because they want to fit in. I have friends from high school, and including myself. I mean, I used to be such a dumbass, and I'm still an absolute dumbass, don't get me wrong. Like, I act like an idiot all the time, but now I do it because I like to be goofy, I like to be funny, I like to act that way. But in high school, I was over the top a jackass, and I did it because I wanted to fit in. It was just, that's what made me feel seen. And people would laugh at me whenever people would acknowledge my existence because I was the class clown. And I understand that it's not like, oh, poor me, Gage was the class clown. I had friends and I had all this, but like there are moments where I definitely caught myself going into this path of being a person that I'm not, trying to fit into a crowd. And a lot of people that I might have been a complete jackass towards, like some of my teachers and some of my classmates that I didn't make fun of per se, but just did goofy shit towards, might have thought that this kid's not a good person and that this guy's not going to amount to a lot in life, not knowing that I have all these goals and aspirations in my soul and my spirit. But if I don't speak them out and if I don't show people that's the type of human that I am, then they're not going to know any different. So basically just want to leave you guys with that and stop judging people. Have a blessed one. Thank you guys so much for watching.